Welcome back, heroes. All right. Welcome to the guild. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. I don't have any more scrolls. I didn't go buy any more scrolls for XP, so that will slow us down a little bit. But we do have. I just slopped something together until we hit 10 because I have no idea what gear we need. I don't even know what build I'm gonna go with for the Runemaster, to be perfectly honest with you. I kind of just wanted to goof off on this one tonight for a little bit until I have about an hour and a half, and then I have to get off because apparently I get a little loud and the kids have a bedroom right above me, so I may have to start doing some streams a little earlier than normal, which is fine by me. But yeah, we will see. All right, off to the first quest. Kaboom! Technically, we're wielding a staff because that's what it said we were supposed to be using. I'm not really sure, but we have an hour to do more damage. A humble task. Chief wants you to search for his mother out here, and then we gotta take out these birdies. Ooh. There we go. All right. So Runemasters can be melee, they can be ranged, and then I believe hybrid as well. People have been saying that I did the Runemaster wrong. It should have been added to the ranged list. I apparently played the wrong. Yeah. When I was testing all the different builds originally for the tier list, I apparently messed up, and I'm guessing I did the same class twice when I was testing it. And that's why I was like, no, Runemaster does not have a ranged option, but in fact it does. There's level 2. We can pop our book. Learn our level 2 skill. Ooh, skills. Apologies here. Attune yourself to the earth, reducing all damage taken by 3%. We like that. Less damage there. Elemental Burst. Blast an enemy for 26 elemental damage. That actually gives us kind of a ranged ability to go with this for now. That's pretty dope. I also got called out for saying that the Tauren suck at leveling. So that's why we were playing a Tauren. I was going to do an Alliance race for this one. But because I was talking a bunch of noise, I got called out for that as well. So we will get that adjusted. I'll show the quest lines for the Tauren. Oh. Alright, both quests are now done. Let's go turn that in. The reason I dislike the Tauren, just to kind of point it out, is like for the Horde, or for the Orc and the Troll, right? You start off on a bottom corner here, and you literally run up, and there's a bunch of stuff here to take out, a quest over here to take out. You know, you go up and take out that guy, and then there's a cave, and then there's stuff all along this edge, and then there's stuff all back in this. It's like any direction you go, there's quest stuff to do. Here, it's you come over here, you take out a couple birds, then you can run way over here to take out some cats, and then you have to run way over here and do this. There's really no reason to go over here except for class quests. So it's crazy. The hunt continues. We'll hit level 3 when we turn in this quest. and then we can go talk to... I thought we would get our Runemaster, but I guess not. So the Runemaster here does not have a level 3 quest. We get Rites of the Earth Mother. It won't even let me pull that up. Weird. Travel to see your Greystone, who lives in the hills directly south of camp. So, over here. So, we'll run this way, because there's going to be the cougars that we can take out there. But, like, you see my point. Like, there's... Once we get over closer to here, there's going to be enough cougars that we don't need to go run way that way for no reason. Now, if there were more people on the server, absolutely. Like, that would make a huge difference in terms of what we're trying to farm for quests. But... I need to make sure that I'm on that. There we go. Now, I do know that I will most likely go ranged instead of melee with this guy. Just because I really do enjoy range classes more often. I was talking with my friend Devin today when I went over to his house. And me and him kind of swapped. For a long time, he was the guy who enjoyed the ranged classes. And I was the give me the big bonk stick kind of guy. And now it's flip-flopped. I'm the I'll stay at range and pummel him from a distance, and he wants the big giant bonk sticks, which is fine. I enjoy playing both ways when need be. But I feel like with World of Warcraft, the spellcasters seem to, yeah, they're squishy, so solo questing is kind of a pain. But outside of that, I mean, if we're being real, ranged are powerhouses. They seem to do way more damage, especially early on, compared to melee classes. I feel like all of the range classes have a rarer chance to miss using spells versus melee being able to be dodged or parried or blocked or miss or, you know, so. I just now realized that our elemental shot, or burst, sorry, is actually applying Firebrand to the target. That is good to know for much later on. Alright, so both quests, or we have one quest that we can go turn up here. And then everything else will be over here. We are now level 4. Let's pop the book. Fire Sigil, Rune Shroud, and that's it. So, requires Rune Shroud. Rune Shroud is stealth. Okay. Engrave a fire rune onto your palm, causing your next instance of direct magic damage within 10 seconds to deal an additional 50% of the fire, or of the damage dealt as fire. So Shroud is not infinite. the battle boards. So now we need snouts and flanks. We need to come in here and take the belts, and then we've also got the chief's head there. Go. You go down here. You are a stupid bag that I don't need. That can go down there. But yeah, when we hit 10, I don't really know which spec I want to go. I'm leaning towards spellcasting right now. But we'll see. I really don't know. So. Yummy, yummy water. Man, if you told me, call it 5 years ago, 6 years ago, somewhere in that ballpark, I was drinking a lot, and I mean a lot of soda. Like, unhealthy amounts of soda. Can Rune Blade be used? Yeah. Okay. Stealth doesn't feel very good to me. At least not yet. We'll see how it goes as we level up. See what I mean, though? Like, we got parried from a pig. Like, come on. Drives me crazy. I do apologize for the late start today. My nephews wanted to play pool. So I played a round of pool with each of them before streaming today. Tried to get more videos out, but apparently the intro video that I've been using, I don't know if it was just a one-time fluke or what, but all of a sudden I was getting copyright strikes yesterday. Like, every time I would post a video, it was like another copyright, another copyright. So I looked into it, and it was the intro video, the music or sound, whatever you want to call it, that plays on the intro was being flagged. Which is weird, because it hasn't flagged it on literally any other video or live stream that I run the intro on, except for yesterday. So I'm a little hesitant to even attempt to run it until I can get a new intro done. So I have no idea. It's weird. Da, 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 da. It's nighttime. Luckily, I know where I'm going. Now, I'm sure there are plenty of world forged items in here. And that might be something that I go and really dig into and look into later. But as of right now, I'm not that interested in it. We'll pick up what we find when we see them. For the most part, I am trying to just level as quickly as possible, so that we can get to 10, so that we can select our class. That poor guy died. Oh, and somebody else bit the dust right there. I wish I could, like, I bet it's on the map. Hold on. No, it's not. But like, I wish I could like Fells Rune. That tells me I think he was a Fellsworn. Or maybe a really bad named Runemaster? Not sure. Tell you what, we are crazy powerful though. There's another level. I want to say that these guys got buffed because I remember this dude taking being way harder to level. We're gonna die. Yep. I was hoping that we had a healing pot in our inventory, but we didn't. Let's see. So we hit level 5. Ambassador. Well, we took down the quest guy. Technically, we could have just rezzed in town and turned all those in. But I think there's a bonus quest guy still. I'm not 100% sure, but I think there is still a bonus quest guy in that little cluster. You just have to go up a little bit more of a hill. What? What? Why? Why? My camera's acting goofy today. Whee. I know there's one right here. We may try to go get it. Looks like there's something over there, too. We'll take the time. And yeah, there is a quest. We'll take the time to explore this area a little bit. To see what all else there is as far as the World Forged items. That's what I thought. This is one as well. Let's pop the book. We got anything else that we can do? Nope. So then we pop this. We're gonna go get that extra quest. Come on. Oh, there we go. But yeah, right up here is a little bonus quest. Which is nice, just because that's a little bit more extra XP before we move on to the next town. Ended up getting 2 firebrands on that guy. And then we come right here. Pick up that quest. And then you can actually pick up the knife. And there we go. So there's another World Forged item. And we have all those quests to turn in right there. Let's see here. I think if we go out this way, we can get to that one shiny first. That we saw a minute ago. We just go out. And then if we go right around this hill, maybe? Yeah, look at that. Okay. Wait for it. Wait for it. All right, he should be far enough not to pull. And we'll take this guy. Well. Angered the pig. Okay. And then we want to go straight across and back in that little corner there. Is that one that we fell down and got, or saw. We couldn't get it because we were a corpse, but... Uh-oh. Oh, not good. Lag. Oh, we're gonna get booped. We're gonna get booped. Come on. Kick me from the game. Well, I can't even exit. Okay. Well, that's fun. Doo-doo-doo. Let's see. Witch Hunter got some stuff. Witch Doctor, Venomancer, Templar, Sun Cleric, Stormbringer, Star Caller. Runemaster ended up getting base health and stamina adjusted from 1 to 15. Fire Sigil now has ranks that values from 50%, 75%, 100%. So. Ooh. Yeah, something's up with the server. Yeah, Something's up with the server. Yep, it just went offline. Huh, well, today may be a super short stream. That's no bueno. Let me go see if there's an announcement on Discord. Quick updates until Project Ascension is reopened. Yeah, I already know that. Um... Doom, doom. I'm not seeing anything. Let's go to this realm if it'll let us. I'm not seeing anything though in chat saying that we can't. Like, what happened to the realm? Yeah. No idea. Zero idea as to what has happened. Come on. Hello. I tested out a druid and a warlock today on Bronzebeard. We're almost level 10 on our warrior, but we're having difficulties with him. I also went and played some of Epoch today because one of their servers was actually live and available for me to try it. So went and tried doing that. Let's go exit game again. Well, fiddlesticks, man. This is gonna be a really short freaking stream if I can't play on Conquest. And there was no announcement. Like, normally if the server's getting ready to go down for a second, like, there's a thing for it. This one, nothing. It's just the realm is offline. And Discord for this has nothing. That's just more links for Bronzebeard. Hmm. Actually, that is a really good question, though, in the content creator page. I say we give it a couple more. Like a couple more minutes here, and if oh, that was 2 days ago. I don't recognize. That's definitely Duratar. I don't recognize that spot, though. Hmm. Yeah. There is nothing in any of the Discord chats. This is why the server went down. Oh, it's back up. There we go. Yeah, there was like no messages, no nothing as to why that went down. It's weird. But that's okay. Get off my screen. We're being attacked. We're gonna die again. Just run. Woo. I'm not sure how we survived, but we survived. That's fine. We can fight one. But we wanted to go over there and grab that package there. I'm curious as to know, like, ooh, why are there so many here? All right. This is gonna hurt. We'll try. Then we can pick that up, and then we can backpedal a little bit, and then let's just hearth back to town. So we can turn in all 4 of these quests. We're already halfway to level 6, which is great. I'll take that. Okay. Then we come run over here to you. Here's level 6. He wants us to go to the next one, and then this quest here is our mount. We ended up picking up potion. All right, so Rites of the Earth Mother. So we're done here. Like, that was literally all you had. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total quests in the starter zone. I'd have to do the orcs again and count how many total you have. Because, like, if I remember correctly, let's go look over here. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's either 8 or 9 total quests for the orcs. That's why they level faster. They have more quests in a condensed area. Alright, and where does he want to fly us? Bloodhoof, that's where we need to go anyway. Right here. At least we don't have to run there anymore. That was giant pain. Back in the day, you like there was no choice. You had to run. Flying mounts were flight points were rare. Flying mounts weren't even heard of in vanilla. Like, it's crazy. Let's grab this in.
Looking for something special? Be careful.
So we're already almost level 7. Click that just so that we can grab all the upgrades. That should have completed that quest. Nope.
May the eternal sun shine upon you. How? Walk with the earth mother.
So our new skill is called Primordial Blast. Launch a primordial missile at the enemy, dealing 44 magic damage. It's an instant cast. Has an 8-second cooldown. We're going to run around town. We're going to collect all of the quests. We still have one more turn in. That should get us to level 7. And it's like they've already set us up to be a caster. We've gotten 2 ranged spells and 1 melee.
What brings you here? Farewell. Greetings.
Oh, are you kidding me? That barely gave us any XP. That's lame. Bro, you can see it from here. What the... That's new, though. Yeah, that's 1,000% new. That's not been there. I'm gonna go explore it, because, like I said, this is new. This used to be just an area where you could fight the little kitty cats. Whatever they're called. The prairie stalkers? Is that the cats, or are those the wolves? I don't remember. But we could see this from over there, so... And there's a quest for this? Yo, Holmes. This is a new quest, too. I say we go ahead and get professions, since I don't know what we need. I'm gonna grab herbalist and alchemy. Find herbs. That gives us a little bit more XP. There was one more quest here in town that we're gonna go grab. and then we're actually going to start like down here in the southern part and work our way north. So here's the thing, since we just heard this guy talk. In case you guys didn't know, Ahab Wheathoof, this dude right here, the old rancher, he is voiced... Here, let me turn up the volume real quick. Okay, that right there is actually a real person. He was a kid that was part of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, if I remember correctly. But he actually got, like, he was a World of Warcraft player, and I don't remember how the interview happened, but they asked him why he played World of Warcraft, and he said on camera during this interview that he played it because it helped him forget about the pain of his cancer and the fact that he was dying. Blizzard got a hold of it, contacted him, and now he is forever immortalized as an NPC in World of Warcraft. So... there's also another person who made a massive achievement in World of Warcraft who also has been immortalized into the game, and there's a character. I don't think we have access to the character in this game, like in Ascension at all, because it wasn't until Mist of Pandaria that he got added. But there was a player who made it his mission to level every character since the moment they added XP for professions. He made it his mission to become max level by only using professions in the starter zones. I think he's also the reason why we don't get infinite XP anymore from professions. Because you did. It was a small amount of XP. And he would sit there. It took him, God, I think they said like a month of playing every day for hours on end in order to achieve it. But he did. From Mist of Pandaria onward, he completed each expansion. One of his characters only leveled by using professions. Alright, we are level 7 now. There's one. This is number 2. But yeah, I mean, even someone like Robin Williams has a memorial in the game. There is a genie lamp. I forget where in the world it is, and I don't know if it's in Ascension as well. But you can go click on the lamp, and a genie pops out and says the line from Aladdin, unimaginable... I think it's unimaginable power. Or ultimate power. Something of that nature. He says the line that Genie says when he is first introduced in the Disney movie. So I always think that's pretty neat to know. But yeah, Blizzard's been... I don't know if they do it anymore, but they used to do stuff like that. It felt like on a very regular basis, you'd hear another story of how Blizzard was incorporating something that someone did into the game as a permanent character or fixture or whatever. I mean, Paris Hilton, for goodness sakes. There is the Hilton Bag Quest in Outland. I think it's actually called the Pilton Bag because I don't think they had permission to use Paris Hilton. But it's literally you go do the quest, and the quest is called the Harris Pilton quest, and you get a bag. It's like a 18 or 20 slot bag. So, what else? Trying to think of what, there's a Don Quixote quest. No, that's not this game. That's in, Borderlands. What is it? Borderlands 3. No, Tiny Tina's. It's in Tiny Tina's Adventure. There's a Don Quixote quest. I love when developers do things like that, where they add, you know, cultural references that kids from this generation aren't going to understand, but at the same time, it's funny for an adult because I've seen the Don Quixote play. It was in German, I think. I watched it when I was in like middle school, high school, something like that. It was like a whole field trip we took. And we went and watched the play. And it's a phenomenal play if you ever get the option to, or the ability to go watch it. I highly recommend it. But yeah, it's great. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, buddy. This is the last poacher that I need. And then we need 5 more skinners and 6 more tanners. Didn't need this guy. Here's a tanner. But, like, as you can see, this is what I'm talking about, though. Like, look at all the quests that require us to take down a mass number of targets before we can go back to town. This is why I try and tell people that the... I could have sworn... Let's see. That's food that I can eat. Masita and agua. I mean, there's that one. That's a whole bunch of food I can eat. We need to hold on to these plant and these plant. Oh, that's fine. But this is why I try and tell people that the Tauren are the slowest levelers. Now, I could have simply ran over to the starting zone or used my travel permit to start where the orcs start, but that would have defeated the purpose of me trying to show that this does, in fact, level slower in its area than the other classes. Because we'd already be probably 9 right now, 8 or 9, if not 10 or higher. 7% chance to get a femur. And we got it on the first try. We don't need any more of those. We don't need any more of the wolves. We need the birdies. We need the plane striders and the birdies. Let's mount up. We also need, like, plane strider talons. We need 4 of those. I need the gizzards so I can complete that quest. And then I need quills from the flying birds. And then we need the rest of the plane striders. Or the rest of the gnolls. That's what they're called. Sorry, my brain was having a massive brain fart. These things come from D&D, and I'm sitting here like, I know what they are. Six of 8 on the Tanners. Almost done with that. There is a rare. Let's clear out the area before we take on the rare. Looks like we're the only one over here, so I'm not too worried. Alright, looks like I'm going to probably have to fight all 3 of these guys. Woo, he hits hard. Okay, run. We'll pop this. Thank you. Run, 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 run. That quest is done, but there's a world forged item right here. I want to take that item. Back up. All right, so we don't need the wolves. We don't need, like, we need these birds. We need more quills. This will level us to 8, by the way. And we got a quill from it. Nice. All right, so let's pop the book. Okay. Then we also get a whole bunch of free Runes of Ascension. So we ended up getting Surging Slash. This is our next melee weapon here. Or melee skill. Strike an enemy dealing 115% weapon damage plus 15 elemental damage. Dispel 1 beneficial magic effect from the target. It's instant cast with a 6-second cooldown. We also picked up Frost Sigil. Requires us to be in stealth. Engrave a frost room onto your prompt. Freezing an enemy in place for 8 seconds can only affect 1 enemy at a time. Does not break stealth. Damage has a chance to end this effect. So this does damage. And the other one does not. Oh, Plane Strider, we need that. There we go. So that quest is now done. So we need talons and quills. So we just need to go find us some more birds. As you can see, they're listed to be literally everywhere. And it looks like we've got a Wind Fury quest over there. I tell you what, we are 8. Yeah, if we were 9, I would go turn in these 4 quests, and we'd probably hit 10. But we'll run over into the Wind Fury. If we see any birds or plane striders on our way there, we will stop and take them out. And plants. We will definitely grab up plants. And honestly, if I really wanted to maximize XP gain, we would get, like, if you want to get as much XP as you can from just doing professions without having to do crafting, grab herbalism, mining, and then grab the tree one. And you chop down trees when you run past them. You pick up any flowers that you run past. You pick up any of the ore that you find, and you will get plenty of XP as you go. There's another quill. Okay, we just need one more of those. I see another bird out there. It's a little outside the way I want to go. Go away, doggo. Okay, need 4 more of those. We did also get Attunement of Water. Attunement of Water restores 10 mana every 5 seconds. It gives damage dealt to 20% chance to grant replenishment to allies for 15 seconds. Restores 1 maximum mana every 5 seconds to allies within 20 yards for 15 seconds. I actually kind of like that one better than the damage negation. If we start taking tons of damage, then yeah, absolutely, we'll switch back. But anything that lets us keep mana up is way better. There we go. Starting to get some good drop. We need one more plane strider too. So if we see a plane strider, we gotta go take it down. Oh man. I don't know why I'm like yawning all of a sudden. All right, 3 more if we get lucky. Two more. One more. We need all but one. We need to find more. There we go. That is now complete. All right. Don't need you. Let's mount up. It looks like we may run into some more plane striders up over on the other side of the road. We're also looking for the birds. We need one more plane strider talon, and we'll be done with that quest as well. And we need 4 more quills from the birds, and we'll be done with both of those. Here is a plane strider. Hopefully we get lucky on this one. Yo, got it. Sounded like Moxie there for a second. I don't want to run and grab that one because I'd have to fight too much stuff. What is this? Taloned swoop. Meh. There's so many baddies around here, but so many delicious plants. There's a birdie. Hello, bird. Okay. We need 3 more on our way back to town. But I see 3 plants over here. All silver leaf. And the beauty is we're a Tauren, so we actually get an increase by 5 points on herbalism, usually. I didn't check to see if that was still the case when we picked up herbalism. What else is it saying? Tender strider meat. Do I not have tender strider meat? Stringy wolf meat. Yeah, there we go. Tender strider meat. I already got it. Okay. Two more birdies. I want to move this over, move this up. Not that it matters if we get the 2 birds before we head to town, because we're already at town. We're halfway to 9, so like 2 of these is going to get us to 9. The rest of it should get us to 10, and then we can really dive in and start looking at what spec we want to do. Let's make sure before we do this. Got nothing there? Okay. Pick up that quest. Dang. In case we perish again, that's just an easy one to do.
What brings you here?
There we go. I was thinking that that was going to give us 10. I guess not. If we see Kyle, though, we can use that to get that quest done. while we're here in town.
Walk with the earth.
Don't want to do the vision quest yet.
What brings you here? Go in
All right. Now Kyle is usually running around up over here at the front. He used to make a big circuit of this town. Then they changed it because it was getting too irritating. Because, like, if he slipped past you and then somebody else caught him, it would reset him and then you'd have to wait. So now they have him running around out up over on this side, if I remember correctly. Ooh, ooh, I see a shiny. Come here. I just want to see what you are. A spear. Interesting. See you over there on that really cool. There's Kyle. Come here, Kyle. Alright, then we can go turn that one in. There we go. Let's empty out our bags, though, real quick. No, 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 no.
what brings
There you go.
here?
Da, da, da. Oh, that's a quest item. That's a quest item. I already have this. So we can get rid of that. And that's a quest item.
May the eternal sun shine.
Level 9. And we have quite a bit of stuff to use for alchemy. So we can find, is it trade goods? Yes. 80 should be fine. Go alchemy, yes. Make all 10 of these, create all. That'll use up all the peace blooms. We'll have one silver leaf yet left, so we can make one defense elixir, I believe. Or lion strength, one of the two. My phone goes buzz buzz. Yeah, lion strength, we can create one of those. Go. All right. We can go out. Look, this quest I don't need. Okay. Can't do anything there. Let's go talk to Kyle. And then we will continue on getting the swoops. And then figure out where the arrow wants us to go from there. I still think it's such a great thing that they did that for that kid. Like, I mean, there's not a lot of companies out there that are willing to do things like that anymore. It's insane. Um, do I think every company needs to do it? No, not at all. If everybody was doing it, it wouldn't make it unique and special. But it would be nice when you do hear these kinds of stories because they resonate with us as gamers. You know what I mean? Like there was a case. I shouldn't say a case to make it sound like it was, legal action was being taken, but there was a guy who was dying, ended up going into the hospital, told his guildies what was going on, said, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to play for a while because I'm going to a hospital." And they was like, "What hospital?" And like, I want to say it was like 12 of them. It's like 8 to 12, somewhere in that ballpark. Showed up at his hospital. They'd never met in real life. Ever. And these guys showed up and was like, "Hey, you're a guildie, man. We want to be here to support you." So that's pretty dope, you know? But then there's the other side of the coin too, where there was a guild on a PvP server that one of their members died, so they decided to hold an in-game funeral, and in the middle of that, like, they put it in the forums and said, "Hey, one of our guildies passed away. He really liked this one zone, so we're all going to be in this one zone, but we're not there for PvP. We're there to honor the memory of our guildmate, yada yada." And this other guild showed up and started killing all the people that were there for the funeral. And if I remember correctly, it got so bad, Blizzard shut that particular server off. I want to say they made an announcement about it, but for the life of me, I can't remember off the top of my head for it. But yeah, I mean, things like that is why I get so mad when people try and say that people who play video games don't have a life and they don't have friends, and that, nothing good will ever come from playing games. And I 1000% disagree with that. I believe that whether you play video games or not, anything that you do, whether it's online or literally anything, it doesn't matter what the thing is. If you enjoy doing it and there is a community who supports you and they do it too, as long as it's not causing bodily harm to another individual, I think it is probably one of the greatest things that you can do as a person. Because sometimes the only thing we have is the community in which we can communicate openly and free to. What the snap? That's new. Is that the Dark Moon Fair? Is the Dark Moon Fair coming? Is that what it is? Because those are the Dark Moon Fair symbols. Oop. Okay, good. I thought I left this dude behind. I was like, no, I don't remember where this quest goes. I think it's right up there in that little house hut thing. But, yeah. That's like I was telling my nephew the other day. We got into a conversation about playing video games. And I told him, I said, number one, if you play video games because it's a way to, de-stress and that kind of stuff, more power to you. But don't let it control you, right? I said, but if you're going to make it a job, you have two options. you can either A, go the YouTube, Twitch kick route, right? Or if it's a game that has a big enough standing in the competitive arena for gaming, by all means. But either way, whichever way you're gonna go with playing video games, make sure it's a path that makes sense to you. If you want to turn it into a career, awesome. Like I'm all for it, obviously. And if you want to turn it into just a stress reliever, that's fine too. But at the end of the day, regardless of which way you're going to play video games, and this can be applied to a lot of different areas of life too, at least in my opinion, is don't let it control you. Don't let it be the thing that keeps you from going out with your family, that it keeps you from hanging out with friends, or doing the things that you should be doing because you'd rather be sitting in front of a computer screen. One of the biggest reasons I want to make YouTube my job and to do content like this for you guys has nothing to do with me wanting to just sit in front of a computer screen and be like, ha ha ha, this is all I do is sit in front of it. No. I want to have time so that if my nephews want to play pool, or my mom wants to go somewhere, or my sister wants to do something, like, I have the opportunity to do those things. That's why I want to make this my job and my career. I enjoy playing video games, but I would love it to be the thing that lets me be more able to spend time with my family, to be my own boss, and to do that. I would love nothing more than to be able to do that kind of stuff. And that's why I'm trying so hard to make this my job. Let's see. This can go down. Heal. That can go down. Heal. Jeez. No bueno. What are you? Dwarven bow. Pilfered Bloodhoof bow is what it is called. Not bad, though. Okay. We're like 1 to 2 kills away. All right, so we have casting damage dealer, melee damage dealer, and melee damage dealer. All right, so we have wield 2 one-handed weapons and use them in conjunction with powerful engravings to pummel your foes with wild primordial magic. You get Engravement Runemaster, allows you to dual wield, and Rune Blade now strikes an additional time for 35% of the damage dealt with your offhand weapon. We have Rift Blade, Bring destruction upon your enemies with grace while wielding a two-handed weapon and powerful, devastating magical attacks. You get Smolder, ignite your blade and strike an enemy, dealing 135 weapon damage plus 18 fire damage. You get Warp Blade, warp to a target using Leyline magic, instantly teleporting you behind them. And then you get Primordial Blast and Surging Slash, now refresh a charge of Rune Blade. We're going to go this for now. And for whatever reason, we need Spirit. Why? I don't know. Unleash Frost Flame and Arcane Glyphs to bombard enemies with Primordial Magic. We get Cold Rune Blast. Blast an enemy with Frigid Runic Magic, dealing 141 spell frost damage and applying Cold Rune Fusion. Cold Rune Fusion, accumulate 20% of your damage dealt to the target over 5 seconds. After the duration, deal it as spell frost damage to enemies within 5 yards of the target. Nice. Lay Walk, teleport 30 yards forward, clearing rooting and snare effects. And then we get Runemaster Glyphic. Using Elemental Burst and Primordial Blast, now grants you Frost Glyph. Using Thaumaturgy, unleashes this glyph upon an enemy. Frost Glyph, Unleash, deals 12 frost damage and slows movement speed by 30% for 4 seconds. Okay, so Thaumaturgy. I'm still going to keep the melee stuff on here for now. Elemental Burst, and then Thaumaturgy. Okay, so let's give this a shot here. So we go here. Oh, well, okay. How many? I've got 4 picks. I need 1 more. Dang healers. Oh, great. Three, 4, 5. And then we can grab that. Boom. I don't see anything sparkly over there. So let's just run out of here. Yep, let's go turn all those in. Then it says we just need to run south a little bit, and then go north, and then north again, and then... everywhere else. But so far, Runemaster seems to be pretty dope. I still think I like the Stormcaller the most. I honestly think that is going to be my main so far when the server goes live, which they're talking September now. So supposedly us adding Epoch to our client isn't going to mess anything up. We'll see. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Alright, grab this one. And of course, we are level 10. I should have popped our book and gotten whatever skills we get for level 10. But I'll do that here in just half a second. I like this camel, because if I ever get to play with Devin again on this, we have a mount that is 2 persons. So if, you know, he needs to go get water or vice versa or whatever, like, we're able to do that. Dun, 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 dun. Turn that one in, and then we're gonna go run right over here. Turn that in and grab that quest, because I think he's gonna ask us to go pick up some stuff anyway. And then okay, that part of the quest is done. Weapon engraving air. Alright, so we now have a new one. Engrave the air rune onto your weapon for 1 hour, causing all direct damage dealt to deal an additional 16 physical damage to an enemy. It can only occur once per second. While active, direct damage dealt has a 15% chance to unleash air brand on a target. Air brand, 25% of the damage you deal to the enemy is replicated and ignores their armor. So we can either do fire so that it explodes, dealing 25 damage per stack, and has a chance to stack 3 times. Or we can do it to where it duplicates the damage. I kind of think I like that. We'll give this one a shot. Yeah. And then we also just picked up Scrying Orb. Conjure a Scrying Orb for 30 seconds. You can control directly and see through. Okay, that sounds like that's going to be some crap that comes down here. There's an attack, Scrying Orb speed. Increase the movement speed of the Scrying Orb by 50% for 10 seconds. Interesting. It reminds me of the Death Knight. There was a Death Knight ability and a Warlock ability, if I remember correctly, that had the capability of doing that. All right. Yeah, we want to go this way. Cleansing Totem. That guy right there. On that well right there. Once we complete this quest, I will have to get off for the night, unfortunately. There we go. Alright, so everything in this southern area is now complete. Everything that we need. Looks like flat limb prowlers. There's one over there, and the rest is way up here. Zeppelin to Orgrimmar, Ritual Totem. Preparation for ceremony. Flat, yeah. Looks like there's quite a bit of quest up that way. Thunderhoof Totem. So there's these quests. And now we need the Prairie Stalkers and the Cougars, which are, again, up here. So yeah, looks like there's going to be a lot to do. We'll go ahead and call it there for tonight. I do apologize. What we will do, though, is we'll just kind of quickly go through, like, the passes and our capstones down here. I'm not sure how I'm going to build this guy yet, but we'll get it figured out. So, as I was saying earlier, we do have Runemaster using Elemental Burst and Primordial Blast. Now grants the Frost Glyph. When we use Thaumaturgy, it unleashes the glyph upon an enemy. Deals 12 frost damage and slows movement speed by 30% for 4 seconds. Affected enemies are considered frozen, which is cool. At 15, increases all spell damage by 30% of spirit, spell critical strike chance by 20% of spirit, and spell hit rating by 8% of spirit. So we definitely want to stack as much spirit as we can. I may need to go look at heirloom pieces that can give me spirit. Glyphic Overload. Instant. Overload yourself for 10 seconds, granting all active glyphs an additional effect the next time you unleash them on an enemy. Overloaded Arcane Glyph deals 100% increased damage. The Flame Glyph now affects 2 additional enemies and deals an additional 158 fire damage over 6 seconds. And the Frost Glyph frees an enemy in place for 3 seconds. At the end of this duration, their movement speed is reduced by 50% for 5 seconds. Does not break on damage taken. So for me, I think Arcane and Flame is probably your best bets there. We get Glyphic Infusion. Instantly generate Frost Glyph, Flame Glyph, and Arcane Glyph on yourself. Nice. And then at level 40, we get increase the damage of your unleashed glyphs by an amount equal to, excuse me, 10% of your spell power. Flame Glyph, that's nice. Using Elemental Burst or Primordial Blast while Frost Glyph is active now grants a Flame Glyph. Using Thaumaturgy, unleashes all active glyphs on the enemy. Deals 48 fire damage and an additional 42 fire damage over 6 seconds. And then there's the Arcane Glyph there. Empowered Magi. Damage dealt by Primordial Blast now applies Firebrand. Nice. Blast an enemy with a frigid runic magic, dealing 142 spell frost damage and applying cold rune fusion. So this just automatically does it. So we don't really need to worry about the frost glyph. This automatically applies that anyway. Oh no, cold rune fusion. Hold up. Oh, okay. I was thinking something else. So yeah, no, we would still use this. Accumulate 20% of your damage dealt to the target over 5 seconds. That's pretty nice. As far as key capstones go, we have Karen Tor Agent, reduces the cooldown of Eye of the Beholder by 30 seconds and increases its duration. Eye of the Beholder increases your spell critical strike chance by 20% for 15 seconds. While active, the critical damage of your Glyphic Ruin and Primordial Blast is increased by 25%. That's nice there. Plus, you get it by 30-second cooldown, so it's only a minute for that. That's pretty dope. Or we have Manuscription. Send the manuscriptions to envelop, if I could read, an enemy and up to 8 nearby enemies, dealing 1,559 spell strike damage over 5 seconds. When you cast this ability, you are granted transcribing for 5 seconds. Transcribing. While active, your next thaumaturgy will now grant you a chapter of the same school as your active attunement, causing your next 10 direct spell casts to deal additional school damage up to 8 enemies. That's got a 45-second cooldown. I still think this one's probably the best bet if you're going to be using Eye of the Beholder the most. Using Elemental Burst now has a 20% chance to transform your next Primordial Blast into Obliteration for 10 seconds. Obliteration, hurl a powerful elemental missile at an enemy, dealing 22 elemental damage every 0.3 seconds for 1 second. So 44 damage. You couldn't have just said that. Each missile grants you a glyph. Scroll of Magic now increases the critical damage and critical strike chance of unleashed glyphs by 5% for 15 seconds. Stacks 3 times. Me personally, I kind of like either going this route here or going this route here. That's just me. Yeah. Let's see. We've got Convergence. For 15 seconds, your next 10 brands unleashed from weapon engravings now deal an additional 336 elemental damage. Power engraving. Create a power engraving beneath you for 20 seconds, granting 20% increased magic damage dealt and 20% increased critical strike chance up to 5 allies standing in the area. That's pretty dope. And Sigilist, after using a sigil, the duration of your crowd control effects is increased by 20%. That's PvP. I kind of like this one, power engraving. It is a 3-minute cooldown, so I hate that. So we'll have to see how that works. But the fact that I can plop that down, this would be great for bosses where we can stack up. You plop that down, everybody stacks, and then for the duration of this, everybody gets increased magic damage and increased critical strike chance. That's great. So, all right, let's head over to the inn. Like I said, I'm gonna call it a night. Definitely gonna play this guy a little bit more. I think tomorrow's stream, it is going to be an earlier stream, simply because I have to close at work tomorrow. So we will be streaming from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. or sorry, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tomorrow. We will either continue on with this guy or we may start the Barbarian. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but we will definitely check it out tomorrow. I will catch you, heroes, in the next one. Thank you for stopping by. If you like the content, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, make sure you follow me on Twitch if that's the side that you're on. I always enjoy seeing new members join daily, and it lets me know that we're doing a good job over here. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, heroes.